Look at this kitchen right now. The stove is on. The oven is running. The air feels thick, sticky, and honestly unbearable. This is what most kitchens look like every single summer evening, but watch this. Same kitchen, same meal, same day, just smarter habits. And the difference in how this room feels is massive. We are going to show you real temperature comparisons before and after, using nothing but small changes in timing, airflow, and cooking method. Quick disclaimer before we start. Your results will depend on your kitchen layout, your climate, your appliances, and how well your space is ventilated. These are supplementary comfort habits, not a replacement for air conditioning or insulation. But when applied together, they can make a noticeable, measurable difference. I'm your kitchen thermodynamics professor for today. Let's get into the lab and cut this heat fast. Subscribe to the channel before we start, because we are about to break down exactly how heat builds up in your kitchen and how to stop it. To fix a heat problem, you first need to understand where that heat is actually coming from. Most people blame the weather. The weather is only part of the story. Your stove is the biggest offender. A gas burner running for 20 minutes can push out more ambient heat than most people realize. Because open flame does not just heat your pot, it heats the surrounding air. Your oven is even worse. An oven set to 350 degrees is essentially a small heater sitting in the middle of your kitchen, radiating warmth through its door and vents the entire time it runs. Then there is your exhaust system, or the lack of one. If your range hood is weak, clogged, or simply turned off, all that rising steam and hot air has nowhere to go except straight into your living space. Add humidity from boiling water, and you get a double problem, because humid air feels hotter than dry air at the exact same temperature. This is basic thermodynamics. Heat moves from hot surfaces to cooler air until everything reaches balance. In a closed kitchen with poor airflow, that balance point is uncomfortably warm. Refrigerators and dishwashers also quietly add heat while they run, though far less dramatically than your stove and oven. Once you understand these four main heat sources, stove, oven, humidity, and poor ventilation, you can start attacking each one specifically, instead of just suffering through it. Here's a habit almost nobody thinks about, but it makes an immediate difference. Cooking time affects how hot your kitchen feels, independent of what you are actually cooking. If you cook during the hottest part of the day, typically between 1 and 5 in the afternoon, your kitchen is already fighting outdoor heat before you even turn on a single burner. Shifting heavy cooking to early morning or after sunset means your kitchen starts from a cooler baseline. That single shift can lower your starting temperature by several degrees before you cook anything at all. Another smart timing habit is batch cooking during cooler hours. If you know you will need rice, grains, or proteins for multiple meals, cook them all in one cooler window instead of running your stove multiple times throughout a hot afternoon. This cuts your total heat-generating cooking time dramatically across the week. Also, pay attention to your prep order. Do any oven-based cooking first, since ovens take the longest to release their heat, and finish with quick stovetop tasks. This way, your kitchen has more time to recover before the day gets even hotter. Small scheduling shifts like these cost you nothing, but they change how your kitchen feels for hours afterward. Not all cooking methods produce the same amount of heat, and this is where real savings happen. Your oven is almost always your biggest heat generator, so reducing oven use during summer is one of the most effective single changes you can make. Swap oven baking for an air fryer or a countertop convection oven whenever possible. These smaller appliances heat a contained space instead of radiating warmth into your entire kitchen. A slow cooker or an electric pressure cooker is another excellent swap, since it produces steady, contained heat instead of the intense radiant heat of a stovetop burner or oven cavity. Outdoor grilling, if you have access to a balcony or yard, removes heat generation from your kitchen entirely, which is the single most effective method on this list. If you must use your stovetop, choose smaller burners that match your pot size, because oversized flames around a small pot waste energy as pure ambient heat instead of transferring it into your food. Covering pots while boiling or simmering is another simple habit that cuts cooking time and traps steam, which means less humidity escaping into your kitchen air. Microwaving, when appropriate for the dish, generates dramatically less ambient heat than any stovetop or oven method because the energy goes directly into the food rather than heating the surrounding air. None of these swaps require buying anything expensive if you already own a microwave or a covered pot. The goal is simple: generate less heat at the source and your kitchen has less heat to deal with in the first place. Even with reduced heat generation, you still need a way to push existing hot air out fast. Your range hood is your first and most important tool here, and it needs to actually vent outside, not just recirculate air back into the room. Turn it on before you start cooking, not after, so it is already pulling air the moment heat begins building. If your ranged hood is weak or non-existent, a simple box fan placed in a nearby window, facing outward, can pull hot kitchen air out while pulling cooler air in from another opening. This creates a cross breeze that actively exchanges your kitchen air instead of letting it stagnate. Cracking a window near your stove, combined with an open window or door on the opposite side of your kitchen, creates natural airflow that pulls hot air toward the exit point. Ceiling fans set to a counterclockwise direction during summer push air downward and outward, which helps circulate trapped heat away from your cooking area. If you cook near a doorway, keep it open during and after cooking to let heat escape into a larger space where it can disperse more easily. The key thermodynamic principle here is simple. Hot air rises and moves toward areas of lower pressure and cooler temperature. Your job is to give that hot air a clear, fast path out of your kitchen instead of trapping it in a sealed box. Beyond appliance choices and airflow setup, there are small, in-the-moment habits that make a real difference. Keep pot lids on whenever a recipe allows it, since this traps steam and heat inside the pot instead of releasing it into your kitchen air. Turn off burners a minute or two early for foods that finish cooking with residual heat, since cast iron and heavy pans stay hot long after the flame is off. Immediately after cooking, run your range hood or fan for an extra 5 to 10 minutes, because most heat and humidity actually linger in the air well after you finish cooking, not just during it. Wipe down hot stovetop surfaces once they have cooled slightly. Since a hot stovetop continues radiating heat into your kitchen for a surprisingly long time, open a window immediately after finishing, even for just 15 minutes, to flush out trapped humid air before it has time to settle into your kitchen fabrics, curtains, and cabinets. If you used your oven, crack the oven door open slightly after turning it off, but only once it's safe to do so, to let residual heat escape faster instead of slowly leaking into the room over the next hour. These are 2-minute habits, but they compound over an entire summer of daily cooking. Let's look at actual numbers from our kitchen test setup. In our unventilated test run, using the oven and stovetop with no airflow habits, kitchen air temperature climbed noticeably within the first 15 minutes of cooking and stayed elevated long after the food was done. In our second test, using the same meal, but applying range hood used from the start, a cracked window and lids on every pot, the peak temperature was measurably lower, and the kitchen returned to a comfortable baseline much faster once cooking finished. In our third test, we swapped the oven-based portion of the meal for an air fryer and moved cooking to an earlier time slot before peak afternoon heat. This combination produced the most comfortable kitchen environment of all 3 tests. With the smallest temperature spike and the fastest recovery time afterward, the pattern is consistent. Reducing heat at the source, combined with active ventilation, beats trying to cool the room after the fact. Humidity readings followed the same trend, staying noticeably lower whenever lids were used and the range hood ran the entire time. These results will vary based on your specific kitchen size, insulation, and outdoor climate. But the relative improvement from applying these habits together held up consistently across every test we ran. Here's how to turn everything we just covered into a simple daily summer routine. Cook heavier meals earlier in the day or after sunset whenever your schedule allows it. Choose the air fryer, slow cooker, or microwave over your oven for smaller meals throughout the week. Turn your range hood on before you start cooking, and leave it running for several minutes after you finish. Keep lids on pots, use appropriately sized burners, and crack a window or door for cross airflow every time you cook. Do a quick 5-minute post-cooking flush, fan on, window open, hood running, before you sit down to relax. None of these habits cost extra money, and most of them take less than a minute to actually do. Stacked together over an entire summer, they add up to a kitchen that feels noticeably more livable every single day. If this video helped you understand why your kitchen gets so hot and gave you real, practical ways to fix it, hit that like button so more people struggling through summer cooking can find this. Subscribe to the channel for more science-backed home comfort habits that actually work in real kitchens. And drop a comment letting us know which of these habits you are trying first, We read every single one. Stay cool, keep cooking, and we will see you in the next video.